morning to you. Hello to you, our friends on Facebook, and g'day to you here on Instagram. Tanj here, peak performance specialist for real estate and property professionals who really want to grow themselves, their people, and their business in the least amount of time. How are you? Hey, Chrissy, good morning. Happy Friday. Hey, Agent Aisha, how are you, beautiful? It's Friday, the 4th of October. What the hell? Where is this year going? I know I say this often on a Friday. Good morning, how are you? Hey, Wayne Carroll, how are you? Give me one word to describe how you are. For our friends on Facebook, please do the same. How are you this Friday? Good morning, Kate Ashton. How are you, my love? So, Rapid Fire Friday, this is where I reflect as a peak performance coach. Hey, James, great to have you here, champ, on all the key one-on-one coaching themes for the week. And I just share some insights and tips. Good morning. Type in, how are you? One word to describe how you are right now. How am I? I'm actually feeling like my cheeks are sore. I feel really good. I feel really happy. I feel really on purpose. I feel so grateful actually that you are here, that you tune in, you choose to spend some time with me as I just share some stuff that I know is making a difference for others. Hey, Jacinta, I was thinking about you yesterday, my love. Have you got time for a chat today? I did get an update from Kritty. So hi, beautiful. I miss you. Yeah, I just feel really grateful. I'm so grateful that you tune in. I'm so grateful that you spend some time in your morning, Mondays and Fridays, just to have a listen and hopefully hear something for you. Everything that I do as a coach, as a human, is to give you access to be happy and deeply fulfilled in all areas of your life. Hey, Adrian, great to have you here. Facebook still hasn't, people are showing up now. David, good morning. Steve, g'day. Fiona, great to have you here. Excited it's Friday. Everyone ready for show day? Ready to balance. Ooh, Asha, what have you been doing? Kate Ashton, planning. Yes, sister, that is a good answer. Jacinta, how are you, my love? Good morning, Rob Kelly. How are you? David is grateful. Me too, brother. I feel so grateful. You know, here's the thing. Try and be miserable or insecure or angry and grateful at the same time. If you are watching this and you haven't written in how you feel and you feel like crap, here's my first tip. Have an attitude of gratitude. Really find something each day throughout the day to be grateful for. If it's air, if it's peace, if it's great roads to drive on, bridges to get across places. Good morning, Fiona, my love. How are you doing? And having an attitude of gratitude will elevate your altitude, and you just can't feel crap when you're in that space. G'day, Luke, someone that's always feeling up and elevated, certainly when I see you. Luke, we're talking about the importance of gratitude, mate, and having an attitude of gratitude. I promise you, with every bit of marrow in my bones, if you are having a tough time, if you've got stuff going on personally or professionally and it's a struggle, hey, how do I say that? Avlava. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that. Can you type that in? But thanks for tuning in. Patrico, hi, beautiful. Great to have you here. Top of the world. Of course you are, Luke. That's how you roll. Okay, so first tip. No matter where you're at, if you're having a crap day, a crap moment, a shit week, don't spend time wallowing in the emotional quicksand of the suffering and ask why me and activate victimhood. You are going to just crack the whip, and when you crack the whip, it brings down your self-worth and self-esteem and confidence, and you can't elevate your state from that place. Everything that happens in your life can either happen to you or for you. I promise you, if you view things like they're happening for you and they're teaching you lessons, and you ask what is there to learn every time something is a challenge, then you'll get access to transformation. Crap day, jump. Grateful for you and everyone. Yes, I know you are, Luke. You're always grateful. Crap day jump. What does that mean, Luke? Crap day jump. What does that mean? Tell us more. I know you've got lots of strategies for elevating your state. So that's just a really quick tip. Don't crack the whip, wave the wand, celebrate the little wins, to make sure you focus on the things that you are achieving, not the things that you haven't done yet, and be grateful. As soon as my feet hit the floor when I wake up, my left foot and right foot hits the floor, and I say, thank you. Oh my God. I'm here again. I get to live another day. G'day, Duke. Great to have you here, my friend. Wendy, thanks for tuning in. How are you doing, my love? Hey, Adrian, great to see you. All right, so that's my first tip. Attitude of gratitude will elevate your altitude. Now, if you're in Australia and you don't work for Harcourts, your financial year, you would have just finished the first quarter. How did you go? So, as we're tuning in here, how did you go? Do you even know? Did you set yourself some financial goals? Have you been measuring and managing? Have you reviewed your performance? Have you allocated some time to work on the business rather than in the business? This was the key theme for my one-on-one coaching clients for this week. Brendan Saraf, g'day champ, how are you? Oh my God, Brendan, thank you for sending me the video of Sebastian's first steps. See, this is the beauty of being a coach and being in people's lives. I love all my clients. I know what's going on in their lives. It's not transactional for me. And the beautiful Brendan sent me a photo of his gorgeous son, Sebastian, taking his first breaths, I was going to say, steps. Hey, Melba74, thanks for tuning in. If you're on Facebook or Instagram and you haven't yet, type in one word to describe how you are. Martine, hi, beautiful. How are you doing? Did you start reading the Miracle Morning last night? Okay, so Q1, let me ask you, have you set yourself some financial goals this year? Yes or no? If not, now's the time to really do that. Don't just kind of wake up doing stuff. Get really clear. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People book by Stephen R. Covey. Habit number 2 is begin with the end in mind. Really great operators have clarity around where they're going. They've got a clear target. So we need to know that place. So what is your goal for this financial year? Q1 is done. We've got 3 more quarters to go. Then we want to get clear of where are you now? Where are you? And then we want to reverse engineer a strategy to make sure that you're clear. What do you need to do every day? Like every day to then eventually hit that goal in 365 days. Chilling is the word, says Duke. 20K a month heading to 40K. Did you make it, Duke? 20K a month. That's a lovely month, right? That you're going to generate at least $250,000 plus, heading to 40K. Then you're going to be hitting, 500K a year. Sorry, not a month. Hey, George Findikakis, how are you? I always have to say it like that. So are you clear where you're going? Now, if you did set a financial goal for this financial year and you're way off target, you want to look at, did you over-exaggerate the target and why did you do that? Did you just get excited? You want to give yourself realistic targets but a bit of a stretch so you've got a game to play. So Q1 and this week was all about getting clear about performance, measuring and managing, getting accountable and resetting. A couple of themes. Some people overpromised and were under-delivering, and we had to adjust their goals. I'm not typically a fan. Good morning, Lloyd. 500K a month would happen one day. Yeah, how cool would that be, Duke? Of course, automation, online content, brother. You can make that happen. I believe in you. So clarity about where you're going, and this is where we got to get straight. If you've overextended yourself, you're going to get really deflated if you don't have realistic goals, but make sure they're a bit of a stretch for you and make it a game. You've probably, if you've tuned in before, you've heard me talk about the importance of making sure you're clear of your end of year game, like that's the bonfire, but you got to have a daily flame that keeps you honest and accountable, that you feel the heat from. Otherwise, thanks, Duke. Otherwise, you're going to not feel the pressure or not feel the heat of the financial goal, and you're just going to get busy being busy. And that's what some people did this quarter. Here's the biggest breakdown in many people. I've fortunately had many people smash their financial goals, and I've had a couple that didn't, and some that were way off. And here's what happened. When I ask them, when I do Zoom conference call and I say, okay, share your screen with me and show me your week, show me your calendar. And what happens is the calendar opens up, and guess what I'm seeing? I'm seeing, insert the sound of crickets here. I'm seeing blank space. They've done their ideal week draft with me, but it's not in their calendar, and they're not sticking to it. The only thing that's going to generate revenue in real estate is appointments. A couple of people just didn't have their appointment times in their calendar, but they had their personal times. They had when the dog was getting washed, and when they were having dinner with friends, and when they were going to the gym, and when they were going on a bike ride, and when they were doing this. Tony Lee, look at me. How are you, champ? So it's not a judgment, it's not a criticism, but if you want to achieve your goal, you have to reverse engineer your time to do the stuff that matters, the dollar productive stuff. I know you've heard this before, this is not rocket science, but do you know the biggest thing that gets in the way of people achieving their goals is a lack of clarity, a lack of planning, and a lack of accountability. Like, you want this number, but you're not doing what it takes. So this week was all about really resetting. Are you just busy being busy? And if I was coaching you right now and I said, open up your calendar, would you go like, let me show you all my prospecting and my appointment times or my leadership times? Hey, Frank, how are you, champ? Or would you be like, holy shit, I actually have a whole lot of blank space and it looks like I'm not doing much. So please, once you review your Q1 outcomes and you get clear on what you need to do for the rest of this year, if you have fallen short, review your goals. Don't move the goalposts all the time each quarter, but review your goals, and whatever the gap was that you didn't make this quarter, you want to split and amortize it across the remaining 3 quarters. Meaning, if you've got 100K short, then you just divide that by 3, or if you know your trading pattern, divide it by the percentage of your trading pattern per quarter and add it to what's left. And then adjust your calls, connects, appraisals, listings, and sales targets to reflect the gap. Does that make sense? You don't just go, oh, well, didn't make it. You've got to make up that time. You know, this is a game, and many people get busy being busy and don't reverse engineer their time because they don't have a clear why. They don't have why they want to make 40K a month. They don't, or 500K a month. They don't have a clear why. They don't have a reason to get them out of bed and say, thank you, now go seize the day. If you don't have a clear why, if you don't have a fire in your belly, and if your fire in your belly is transactional and coming from fear and trying to survive and pay the bills, your behavior is going to be inconsistent. You know, Tony Robbins and many NLP practitioners say that there's 2 reasons why we do things. We're either seeking pleasure, like going out and getting goals and making a difference for ourselves, or we're avoiding pain. I want to ask you this question. Are you in your world, in your business, trying to avoid pain, avoid debt, avoid struggle, avoid, being broke? Or are you seeking pleasure and creating a great life for yourself? Now, avoiding pain can be a great motivator, but here's what happens with people that are avoiding pain. They start to make money, they start to produce results, and when they do, they take their foot off the pedal because things feel better. The pain is not as painful. Does that make sense? And then they drop their standards, and then they don't prospect as much, and then they're not as hungry, and then they go, oh shit, we've fallen below the line then, and then they get hungry and hustle again, and it's this constant up and down, merry-go-round, not merry-go-round, roller coaster. Does that make sense to you? Hey, Helen, great to have you here. And Lou, good morning to you. So if you're avoiding pain, you're likely to be in an inconsistent performance pattern. And so take a look, because emotional intelligence is critical for your success. There's no judgment from me. Ask my clients. I never judge them. Sometimes I have to give them love, tough love, and a little wake-up call, but that's what they engage me for. Most people want accountability when they want to coach. So that's really, really critical. Now, if you're seeking pleasure, there's a future that you're working towards that is one that inspires you, and you're not running away from pain. Often that orientation is more sustainable, because here we're inspired, we're not motivated. Motivated means you need an external motive to act. Inspiration means you're in spirit, you're in your essence and just acting from a place of empowerment. So, hey, Helen, great to have you here. I think I said good morning to you, but double good morning. Is this making sense? Can you type in for me, what do you hear for yourself? Are you avoiding pain, or are you seeking pleasure? Are you clear about your goals, and have you reviewed your performance for Q1? Have you got clear on what you need to adjust for the 3 remaining quarters? Have you amortized the gap? Have you got yourself an accountability buddy or a coach to help you be on track? David Robinson, speaking of a good segue, coach, how are you, champ? Listen, David, I'd love some interaction from you, buddy. We're talking about reviewing the quarter. David is a growth coach for Lang & Simmons, and if it's the same David Robinson, I think it is. I can see a red singlet and some muscles. You've been working out, buddy. G'day, Juz. G'day, Matilda. Is this making sense, my friends? Please let me know. A thumbs up, a tick. What are you hearing for yourself? David, I want to hear from you. We've just done quarter 1 for the financial year. I'm sharing how some of my clients have smashed it and some of my clients just fell short and some have a big gap. And the difference between those that smashed it have clarity and consistency in their performance. Those that didn't are busy being busy and don't have an ideal week and aren't reverse engineering their time to do the stuff that matters. Hey, so that's really critical. What I will say, a big shout out to all the principals that I coach. Here's what we saw this Q1. There was a big focus on all of the principals creating effective, notice the word, effective one-on-ones for their agents to have clarity around their performance and productivity. G'day, Patty, great to have you here. Happy Friday. So they could win their individual games. The outcome, though, is all the agents in their businesses, their productivity, performance, and completion of their prospecting targets has risen by huge percentages. However, a temporary drop was in the principal's leading agency, meaning most principal, I know I'm speaking really fast. I want to give you as much content as possible. Hey, Ash, great to have you here. As always, brother, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm grateful for you. What can happen if you're a principal and you're on the tools, you're the leading agent, when you choose to dive in and dedicate your time to have effective one-on-ones and empower your agents to do what they need to do to grow, you may get a little hit in your own productivity and performance temporarily until you get on track. That's okay, because principals typically have the discipline, the experience to go out and land big listings. So David, if you're still here, hello Everything Plus, what a great name, Everything Plus. What are you seeing in your clients? What are you seeing in your principals? What are you seeing in your business? What are people dealing with? What were the lessons? What were the outcomes from Q1? What are you willing to share? Hey, Ash. So, are you clear about your performance and what's left? Are you willing to be accountable? Are you and are you willing to be consistent? Are you avoiding pain or seeking pleasure? Please get clear on your goals. If you need help on this, reach out. I offer complimentary discovery sessions valued at $250, half an hour together, and we can get you reset for the next financial year. I'm going to say this, the biggest asset that you have to win in your world and your life, personally and professionally, please get an ideal week. I've dropped in previous Mindset Mastery Mondays and Rapid Fire Fridays a template that I have. I think maybe last week I did. If you want one, DM me or comment here. Hey, Carolyn, great to have you here. Beautiful. Thanks for tuning in. One word to describe how you are today. Reverse engineer your time to do what matters, and that includes your personal time. Don't be all hard slog hustling in your business and no time in your relationships or no time to look after your health. Too many people are busy being busy and deluded that they're doing the stuff that matters. Get an ideal week, please, but don't just do it, stick to it. The beauty of an ideal week also is you can just be present, show up and paint by numbers, follow what your calendar is telling you to do. Does that make sense? David Robinson, thank you. Please write to me on Instagram. Is this making sense? What are you getting for yourself? Thanks for your comments on Facebook. Those with clarity of purpose and high-level outcomes have continued to drive high performance. Those that haven't have struggled. Great. And David, what's been your coaching? Agents need to be faithful with the small and the large. Take care of itself. However, context is needed. The end destination is critically important. Couldn't agree with you more. What David is saying there is the power of why. We need a reason to show up every day. And let me give you a little tip. If your reason is self-oriented, is transactional, or it's just financially driven, you're less likely to be consistent. G'day, Mohammed. Hey, great to have you here, my friend. How are you? All the way from Egypt. Holy crapola. Mwah. Give my love to the motherland. Oh, I miss you, Bess. Now I'm distracted because I've got a brother from Egypt tuning in. How gorgeous. You've got to, if you're being transactional, I just find it's less inspiring. If you are of service, if your why is client-centric, if you're not just focusing on making commission, but you want to change people's lives and make a difference, I know for me, that just gets me out of bed in the morning. Another key theme for this week inside of performance and productivity was one of my principals had, or two of them actually, had to have some pretty tough love, what I call courageous conversations this week. One had to let a property manager go. One has another property manager that's pretty clear they may be going, because here's the deal. The standard you walk past is the standard you accept. And if you're watching this and you're a principal and you've got poor performers in your team, one of the biggest ways that people will lose respect for you as a leader is if you do nothing about it, because other people will go, well, that's okay, they can get away with it, I will too. So many leaders avoid those tough conversations and avoid those courageous conversations because they don't have the skills to manage conflict resolution, A, and B, many leaders are addicted to being liked and are afraid to lead, and they lack the competency. If you lack the skills to performance manage, but you know you need to do it, here's my coaching for you. One piece of advice I gave a principal yesterday who's really learning how to have courageous conversations. I said, you know what? You can just say to that person, hey, let's go for a coffee. Or David, I can see there's something that you've written here I want to respond to. You just take them for a coffee and go, you know what? Acknowledge them for something that they've done recently and say, I've just noticed that you don't seem yourself lately, or there's been a clunkiness in our communication which was relevant to this situation, and I'm curious, is there anything there for you that is incomplete or in the way, or you haven't communicated that I should know about? Because what I'm committed to is a great connection and with us, and just supporting you in your role, and that we do good work together, and just something isn't connecting. And it's not about getting the script and dialogue right. People can feel where you're coming from. So having those tough conversations, those courageous conversations, please don't underestimate that. Because as I said before, the standard you walk past is the standard you accept. Don't walk past people that are just not being productive. The biggest expense item in your business as a leader is people. So if they're not performing and you're letting it happen, that's your responsibility. David is saying here, agree with the pain being a necessary driver in any phase of change and growth. I encourage my clients to lean into this pain, harness it, for evolved actions. I find the first 2/3 of the journey of change comes from pain. It's only the last third that the client focuses on the alternate vision or pleasure. Nice. You're a true gift to the industry, Tanj. Listen, brother, likewise, mirror, mirror, you're out there every day helping people shift subconscious sabotage to help them achieve what's there. And guys, this is what this is about. There's 1 in 14 trillion chance of us actually being alive. Did you know this? Scientists have researched the chances of being alive, yet we walk around floating on a rock in space like we're not good enough, comparing ourselves to others. And then we're not clear about our dreams, because fundamentally the thing that you and I share is that we're not good enough. We all have beliefs. I've never met a human being that doesn't believe they're not good enough, whether it's 0.4% or 100%. And that is not, as Chris Helder would say, a useful belief. The best thing you can do today is put down the whip. If you didn't do well in Q1, just put the whip down and ask, what did I learn? Have some emotional intelligence and actually get curious. Open your calendar and look at where you are spending your time. Your financial scorecard is just a report of your energetic output for the quarter and how many lives you've changed. If you're not happy with the number, learn the lessons, spend more time solving more problems, adding more benefits for people, and go out there and give. Give, give, give. Now, here's another piece of coaching that I gave many people this week. We have a soul and we have an ego. Our soul is the creator. It just goes directly for what it wants. Our ego is a victim because it believes it's not good enough, and it gets busy being busy in smoke screen and distractions. Our ego does not want to get up when the alarm goes off. Our ego doesn't want to eat clean necessarily. Our ego wants us to drink wine and have silver bullet answers for everything. The best thing you can do, and an exercise I did heavily with my clients this week, is modeling a master. This is an NLP practice where you get clear about who is someone that inspires you, who is someone that has 3 characteristics that you know if you adopted those, your results, your life, your health, your wealth, your leadership, your relationships would be off the charts. I have a few masters that I model. for business, for parenting, for my own health and vitality, for my sensuality and sexuality. Like, honestly, I have people that I embody and access to take action, because if I left it up to my Shigo, she would be, I don't know what she'd be doing. So you must have a great example of this is Beyonce Knowles. Beyonce, if you watch her being interviewed or watch her at awards events, she's very meek and mild and even shy and quite insecure. She'll be the first person to say that. Hey, Martina, I love that. Hi, Ran Boss. Martina, I love the spelling of your name. Thank you for inviting Ran Boss to tune in. But Beyonce Knowles created Sasha Fierce. Sasha Fierce. That's her alter ego. That's who hits the stage. That's who does the world tours. Beyonce Knowles does not hit that stage. She's even got an album with Beyonce Knowles on one side and Sasha Fierce on the other. So I spend some time with my clients looking at that persona that avoids responsibility, that procrastinates, that knows what to do, that doesn't do it, that gets busy being busy and doesn't allocate their time and is shoulda, coulda, woulda, gonna, donna. I want you to create a character. What do they look like? What is their name? How do they dress? What do they eat? And we name them. And you see, as soon as we do this exercise, everyone's laughing. They just can see themselves in a disassociated relationship. So there's objectivity. And then I go, cool, think of someone that you really admire, that inspires you. Instantly they have access. And I'm like, what is their character? What's their persona? And you see, well, you know, they're upright, they're powerful, they're purposeful, they're happy, they're joyful, they're active. And I also ask them, hey, Sarah, hey, how are you, beautiful? Great to have you here. Think of a time where you were confident, where you were empowered, when you produced results. Again, people can easily access that. We add that into the mix. We become the director. We cast this persona and we give them a name. And they've got the craziest names, which are fun. Now, you can choose when you wake up in the morning and say thank you and are grateful for a new day. Are you going to step into this persona, or are you going to step into and embody this persona and have ways to access this way of being every day? It's a great exercise. I invite you to do it this weekend for yourself if you've been in a funk. Unpack your dysfunctional way of being and give them a character, and then model a master. Think of someone you admire, unpack their characteristics, reflect on a time that you were empowered and you produced great results, put that in the mix, work out who your superhero is or your persona, give them a name and embody that and just practice stepping into that. And here's what I find interesting when I do this myself, particularly with parenting, because it challenges me, right? Because as a coach, I get paid. People ask me questions, I answer, they listen. As a parent, my children are my biggest teachers because often they don't listen and they challenge me, and I've given them permission to tell me when I'm not present. So they keep me honest and accountable. When I'm in a funk parenting, I know exactly who to model, and when I go, what would Tina do? What would Davini do? I get an answer straight away. So don't underestimate the power of modeling a master. Listen, I know I've gone on a little bit today. What I really want to leave you with, here was another key theme for this week: faith versus fear. Too many of us are waking up not grateful for what we have, not grateful for who we are. Hey, Bianca, great to have you here. And Eb Hansen. Too many of us wake up in fear and we lack faith. We lack faith in our ability, and we lack faith that the universe, spirit, source, God, Vishnu, Krishna, Allah, whoever you believe in, a higher power, is working for us. If you want to shift your perception of yourself and the world and get access to producing phenomenal results in your life, have a belief that everything that's happening in your life is happening for you. It's either inviting you to grow and evolve and progress rather than life is happening at you. If you have a belief that life is happening at you, you'll be below the line, you won't have access to your personal power, and you'll become a victim of circumstance. Stop asking, why is this happening to me? And ask, what can I learn from this? Better quality questions provide better quality answers. So I hope that was useful. Did I cover everything? Yes. think I did. Share with me, what was the key thing that you got out of today? Are you clear about your goals? Have you reset your goals for the rest of the year? Have you amortized the gap across the next three quarters? Have you got an accountability buddy? Do you need a coach to help you shift the funk that sabotages you? When you open your calendar, have you got a lot of insert the sound of crickets here? Or do you need to allocate some time to do what it takes to solve problems, add benefits, and change people's lives and serve? When you lose yourself in service of others, you don't have time to navel gaze and look at the bank balance. It's not there. Serve, 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 and the money will come. I hope you got some value out of this. I really, really, really look forward to seeing you on Monday for Mindset Mastery Monday. And just type in, what did you get? What are you going to learn? So what are you going to instigate? Michael Ninchke. Hey, brother, how are you? I'm just wrapping up, but you can absolutely watch the record. I love you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so, so, so much for sharing some of your precious time with me. I hope you got something for yourself today. This is for free. I just give what I can in the time that we have to hopefully give you one thing that you can implement. Thank you also to all of you that write in to let me know what you have done and the difference this does make. I do it for you. I want you to be happy. I want you to be fulfilled in all areas of your life. I acknowledge you for showing up, and I think you are awesome. And as Mel Robbins says, you know, if no one's told you today, I love you and I think you're awesome. And to wrap up in the late great words of Maya Angelou, remember, people will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Go and make yourself, first of all, feel great, and do the same for others today, especially tomorrow for show day. People are looking for homes to build memories and families and life and build a nest egg for themselves. You can be the one that can be a beautiful, positive contribution to them. So go and get yourself focused on others, and then it takes the pain and pressure off ourselves. I love you. Have a beautiful weekend. I look forward to seeing you again on Monday for Mindset Mastery Monday. If you are struggling with an issue, challenge, problem, or concern, DM me, ask me a question. I'll do my absolute best to answer it. I'll research an answer if I don't know, and I'll absolutely answer it for you on Monday. But I won't mention your name or where you're from, so it's completely confidential. Mwah! Be great. Have fun. Ciao for now. See you soon. I love you. Bye, Emily.